Hi, it's Vicky. Today I want to share 3 stories from Leonardo da Vinci's childhood. The first story is one of his earliest memories, and it involves a bird called a kite. As I was in my cradle, a kite came to me and opened my mouth with its tail and struck me several times with its tail inside my lips. As you can imagine, Freud had a lot of fun with this memory. Whether or not this story is true is questionable, mostly because people don't usually remember their infancy. It's possible he really does just have an amazing memory and remembers when he was a baby. It's also possible it was a dream. I don't know about you, but some of my strongest childhood memories are just dreams. Leonardo recorded this memory in his notebooks when he was about 50 while he was studying birds. So if it is true, it's possible this early experience with birds played some effect in his interest in birds later on in life. Or maybe it was a dream, and that dream reflected an interest in birds, or led to an interest in birds and flight. Another story from his childhood is when he was a bit older. He was going for a hike around Florence. He came across a dark cave, so he decided to look inside, and he found a whale fossil. This is something that stuck with him and he wrote about in his notebooks later on in life. Some people think this story is not true, but people have found whale bones in the area. I think this may have played a role in his later interest in paleontology and water, oceans, rivers. Later on in his life, he would write a lot about the motions of water. And the third story I want to share is about the shield. When Leonardo was young, a peasant in Vinci asked Leonardo's father Piero to take a shield he had made and get it decorated in Florence. Piero agreed, and he actually gave it to his son to decorate. To decorate it, Leonardo gathered a whole lot of dead bugs and animals. According to Vasari, he collected reptiles, green lizards, crickets, snakes, butterflies, locusts, bats, and other strange species of this kind. He used the animal parts to create this scary monster on the shield and made it look like it was coming out from a cave. When Leonardo presented the shield to his father, he dimmed the lights so that the shield was the only thing he could really see, and his father was immediately frightened by it. His father was so impressed that he actually bought another shield that he had cheaply decorated and gave that to the peasant, who was very grateful. He sold Leonardo's shield for 100 ducats, and the merchant who bought from him then turned around and sold it for 300 ducats. Is that how you say ducats? Ducats? This early experiment with cutting up animals likely played out later on in his life in his interest in anatomy. Getting used to the smell of dead animals was probably good preparation for when he was older and he did autopsies and studies of dead humans. This also showed his skill and imagination to his father, who would get him a place in Andrea del Verrocchio's studio as an apprentice. It also reminds me of a prank he would play later in his life where he caught a lizard and glued little fake wings and horns on it. He would carry it in a box and tell people he had a dragon. And when they wanted to see it, he would open the box and the lizard would attack. So those were some stories from Leonardo's childhood. These stories will show up in almost every biography about him. In fact, the bird and the cave show up in Da Vinci's Demons. Except in Da Vinci's Demons, the thing he saw in the cave was not a whale. But in case you want to watch the show, I won't spoil that for you. Anyways, see ya!